You tried to rape Abby. There is no way in hell she's dropping charges.
Listen, buddy. This goes to court. Could get real ugly. For you and your brother.
It doesn't matter how your lawyer tries to twist the facts around. No jury is gonna believe that Michael attacked you unprovoked.
Yeah? You willing to bet your boyfriend's freedom on it?
You put me in the hospital, Brandon. That's proof that Michael was trying to protect me.
Last chance. End this, or you will regret it.
I'm not afraid of threats from a coward who hits women.
Abby likes it rough. Don't you, babe?
Michael, don't. That is exactly what he wants.
When you saw the suspect list on my desk and you saw your dad's name on it, you never thought there was any chance you could have done it?
Of course not. I thought it was a mistake. I didn't think there was any way that my dad would hit a kid and keep on driving. I was so sure that it was someone else I didn't even consider it because something like that would tear my family apart, and it has.
Jake's death wasn't your fault. Dark out. You know, nobody could have seen him standing there.
I'm responsible for that little boy's death.
Jake's death was an accident. Losing a child is the hardest thing for a parent to go through. They're gonna try to put blame on anybody. So what I'm telling you is maybe it would be best to take off for a little while.
I'm not running from Jason, Sonny.
Hi.
How'd it go?
It was good. I was able to stop the bleeding, remove the AVM, and Mr. O'Connell's resting comfortably in ICU.
Very good.
Yeah.
I know that couldn't have been easy for you.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. The AVM wasn't that deep. Resident couldn't have done this one.
Talking about the procedure. Losing Jake was hard on all of us. I mean, I don't think I could go to the OR right now. But when they paged you, you didn't even hesitate. I'm really proud of you. You really are a rock star.
Oh, now, be careful. I'm going to start buying into my own hype.
Come on, you are already the cockiest surgeon that I know.
I would prefer skilled. Robin?
So then it's too late for me to pitch a drug trial in the Emory case?
I think we already know that surgery is the best option, especially if I'm holding the scalpel.
Well, it's nice to see that your God complex is back firmly in place.
What'd you expect?
But I have to say, I find incredibly sexy.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Do I even need to ask what has you so distracted?
Are you sure this is the place?
The address was on your wife's cell phone.
I don't want my grandson to fear me. And I don't want anyone to come looking for him. So be thorough with regard to his adoptive parents.
I understand.
And of course, it goes without saying that Brenda Barrett must never know that her son is alive. I intend to keep my grandson to myself.
I came here to hopefully call a truce, and it actually genuinely makes me sad that you think it's more important to hold grudges. I mean, look, it's happening. Sonny and I are married. You need to learn to accept that, don't you think? I mean, try to move on. Everyone else is
If Sonny wants to be with you, that's his choice. My kids aren't a part of the deal.
That doesn't even make any sense. You don't respect Sonny's choices.
I am fine with what went down at the wedding. Sonny had to know the truth, and you and Dante sure as the hell weren't going to tell him.
Wow, okay, well, we got married anyway. Right? I mean, why does that upset you so much? What is it, Carly? You know, I mean, it's just your ego. You're just so mad that your whole plan to
You know
ruin
what
my
you
life
don't
just blew up
get?
in your
I don't
face.
give a damn about your pathetic life.
No, I know
I only care about Sonny. I was trying to protect him.
I think you and I both know that Sonny doesn't need your protection. And the fact is, these kids are going to be in our lives whether you like it or not.
The fact is, I will not encourage my kids to spend 1 second with you.
It's incredible that you are truly going to be immature about this.
You want a truce? Stay the hell away from my kids and we'll get along just fine.
Why can't you just keep the kids out of it? It's
I'd love
so
to.
hurtful to these kids.
I'd love to.
Maybe I should make you beg for your life, say you like it.
Michael, no. He's not worth
You
it.
touch Abby again, I will kill you.
You better keep that temper in check, Tiger. You lose it like that in front of a judge, and you'll be on the express bus back to Pentonville.
You proved your point, Brandon. Just go.
See you in court.
Don't let him bait you. He has no case. If you go after him, that all changes.
That sick bastard needs to pay for what he did to you.
He will.
You're damn right he will. I'm gonna make sure that that guy never touches you again. He will never hurt you again.
You know, after Michael went to prison, I never thought my family would forgive me for the part I played in sending him there. But we were able to repair the damage. And I think given time, Lucky and Luke will be able to do the same thing.
That was different. No one died.
That's true. And unfortunately, if Luke had been drinking before he got behind the wheel, that's
It
gotta
was
be
dark.
addressed.
No one would have seen Jake. This is more than just about Jake. Lucky had a very strong bond with my parents when he was young, and then when he got older, something changed between him and my dad, and it was a very hard time for us. And back then, I didn't think that they would get past it, and now this. Lucky's not going to be able to look at my dad without thinking of losing his son.
What Jason is going through right now is as raw as it would have been if he had raised Jake himself. Now, I'm one of the few people who told Jason not to give up Jake. Not that it's Lucky's fault at all, because it's nobody's fault, and Jason will realize that sooner or later. I just believe that it would be good for you to, give him some space.
Yeah, I understand, believe me. Well, Jason was here, told me the only reason he didn't blow my brains against the back wall was Michael. I'm not so sure that I'm grateful for the reprieve.
A 4-year-old boy on the road is an accident bound to happen. You were just luck of the draw. That's all. It's not, you got to see it that way.
I appreciate you trying to spin that for me, pal. It's kind of you. But then, of course, you've had a drink, and they keep telling me that when you have a drink, you don't think clearly, you don't say things clearly, you don't do things clearly.
Look, there were a lot of cars on the road that night. If Jake had wandered off a few minutes earlier, I could have been the one to hit him. Like I said, luck of the draw. You can't blame yourself.
So, of course, I can blame myself, Sonny. I'm responsible. I hit the kid.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm just busy. With all the cutbacks, there never seems to be enough bodies to handle the workload. Not that I'm complaining. I realize how lucky I am to still have a job here despite Robin's many attempts at getting me fired. Thank you again for staying impartial.
Nothing became of the latest allegations that were made so far, which is why you're still on staff. But if you ever let your personal life interfere with patient care again, you'll be gone. And no amount of grandstanding or shifting the blame is going to save you.
All I want is for what happened between Patrick and I to be behind me. Maybe now that their marriage is on track, Robin will dial down the paranoia and I can have my life back.
That sounds reasonable.
You don't believe me.
You're getting pretty good at telling people what they want to hear.
Hey! Hi! How are you? How was art class?
Emma made you something special.
Did you paint that all by yourself?
Yes.
You did? That's beautiful. Congratulations. That looks amazing.
Thank you for watching her. I know it was short notice.
Oh, not a problem. I'll see you in the morning.
Say bye.
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 I need a checkup.
You need a checkup?
Really?
Do you? Are you not feeling well?
How about instead we go home and put this on the fridge and then we let Daddy do what he is best at, which is bring us dinner.
Are you hungry?
Some food.
What do you want to eat? Pancakes? Yeah, let's have some pancakes. Okay,
You
come
want
on.
pancakes for dinner?
Come on. Push the button. Push the button. Down. Down. No, not up. Down.
This one.
There you
Good
go.
job.
When I found out I was on the suspect list, I was so sure I wasn't the guy who hit Jake that all I could think of is what other cars did I see on the road that night. I just wanted to help the cops find this guy. How's that for irony?
If you were guilty, you'd be in a cell.
If they could prove I was drunk, I would be behind bars. See, that's the fine line, the distinction that Lucky can't grasp.
He'll come around. He loves you. You know that.
Yeah, and what has it given him? I killed the kid that he raised. And he thinks it's because of my drinking. And Jason thinks it's because of my drinking. And my wife was in here, and she thinks it's because of my drinking. It's like this Greek chorus. You know, Jake could be alive if you didn't pick up a glass.
Okay, Jake died because a 4-year-old was on the road. You couldn't see him.
Why are you trying so hard to spin this for?
Because I've been there. Not exactly, but I've been close enough to feel the heat.
And what would you say if I'd hit your son?
I'd kill you.
Get in line.
Okay, wait here. Lucky and Jason are mourning the loss of a child, which that kind of grief you can't even, it's not even worth talking about. But as soon as they have time to process the pain and everything else, they'll see this for what it is. An accident.
Hey, look what I got.
Hi. The great provider is back. You know,
right.
if this were the old days, you'd be hunting moose and, buffalo.
Buffalo. Not that I'm not
My
manly
turn?
enough to do that. I'm happy we live in Port Charles where I can just get takeout so I can spend more time with my girls.
Let's
You all
see
right?
what Daddy has. Please
You hungry?
tell me you got pot stickers.
Look what I got for you.
Ooh,
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks. Pot
Like
stickers?
chopsticks. Pot stickers, fried and steamed.
Yes. It's official. Your daddy is a rock star. I haven't had pot stickers in months.
Are you kidding me? I was going to that place 3 times a week when you were pregnant.
No, I actually went a little while ago, but I ordered them and they asked how you were, and I burst out crying. And so I've been embarrassed to go back ever since.
I'm really sorry what I put you through.
I'm not going to pretend like the past didn't happen, but I'm not going to dwell on it either. And if there's anything that I've learned in the last couple days, it's that life is short. So if I get to sit down and have a meal with the man that I love and our incredibly beautiful, creative daughter, well, I'm not going to pass that up.
Dr. O'Leary, call 5432.
Hey.
Johnson, are you asleep?
Yeah. Thanks for dealing with Brenda. I'm sure she's going to go back and tell Sonny that you manhandled her, so I'll deal with that.
Doesn't seem right. You're having a fight with your husband and your ex. It's not like you're the one who hired me in the first place.
I would be having a fight with Jackson Sonny regardless. Over custody or Brenda trying to push her way into my kid's life. I mean, I can't get over her talking to me about perspective.
Call 3827. Dr. Garrett Henry. Call
She has no idea, you know? She has no idea what it's like to have a doctor come to you and tell you that your little girl has cancer. And they're gonna start pumping her body full of poison because there's no chance for a transplant. She has no idea what it's like to have to go to your best friend on the worst night of his life without having a chance to tell him how sorry you are and ask for permission to take a kidney from his brain-dead son so you can save your daughter. She has no idea how hard that is.
Hey.
Yeah, you don't knock?
Oh, I leave here. I didn't realize I had to knock.
Well, you don't, but we were just having a serious conversation.
You want to have a serious conversation? Why don't you tell me why you didn't warn Abby that the guy who almost raped her is out on bail?
Because this is the first time hearing about it right now.
Yeah, you swore to me that the law would work this time, that if Abby came forward, Brandon would be punished. Now he's free to walk around and attack her anytime he wants. So much for the system. It failed me and it sure as hell failed Abby.
Losing a child is the worst pain imaginable. I mean, you know, it's like the guilt that you feel, the whole... That's hell in itself. As you know, Michael was in a coma for almost a year because he took a bullet that was meant for me. And I used to pray to God every night that if my son came through this, that, you know, that he wouldn't have to suffer for my sins. Well, guess what? He has. I don't want to get into that right now, but no one should have to carry that, especially if it's undeserved.
I know you've caused your share of grief and damage, Sonny, and you've paid for it as well. But your son is here. Lucky's just gone. And I don't have no God to bargain with. That kid ain't coming back.
You dealing facts?
Always have.
Right. Well, the fact is, anybody could have been driving past Elizabeth's house that night and hit Jake. It was a terrible accident. A terrible accident. You gotta stop blaming yourself, is what I'm saying to you.
Look, I really appreciate your attempt at absolution here. But the truth is, I killed a child. I did that.
You call the DA, we'll find the problem and we'll fix it.
Don't bother, there's no point.
Well, no, there is. Maybe I can convince the judge to revoke Brandon's bail.
No, that'll only make Brandon more upset.
Okay, look, he's going to jail. Bail is just a technicality.
Brandon hired a lawyer. The case goes to trial, he's threatening to twist things around and make it look like Michael attacked him for no reason. If the jury believes Brandon's version, you and Michael both stand to lose a lot.
What does Dante have to do with this?
Dante was the arresting officer. Brandon's gonna claim it was a cover-up. Dante falsified reports so I wouldn't go back to Pentonville.
That's ridiculous.
It's the only way Brandon can get sympathy on the stand. But it doesn't matter because the victim's testimony is the only thing that matters, okay? It overshadows everything else. You get up on the stand and you tell the jury exactly what happened.
I'm not testifying. I've already decided I'm dropping the charges.
Abby, do not let this guy scare you off. You have a case. You're gonna win. This guy will not walk.
There's no chance he'd make bail either.
Well, it's about time I got a glance at those gorgeous eyes. Are you probably wondering who's this strange man over your bed? Well, I'm Sean, and I'll be working as your bodyguard. Yeah, I thought I'd take a minute to introduce myself since you'll be seeing my face around. Yeah, you see that? And from what I understand, you are a very special young lady. Yeah, you're courageous and determined, and who's very precious to a lot of people. Well, that's why I'm here. It's my job to keep you safe. And with a little cooperation, yeah, I know, these are wires. But I think if you, your mom, and I cooperate, I'll be up to the task. What do you think? How's that? How's that? Isn't it nice?
should see the look on your face. It's priceless. I don't like cliches, but you look like you've seen a ghost.
You certainly have surprised me.
For possibly the first time in our marriage. You'll forgive me if I savor the moment?
Dimitri must have turned.
You really think I wouldn't anticipate what you were planning? I took the precaution of securing the loyalty of several of your key people. You were so volatile, Theo. You were so single-minded. I had to be prepared in case you decided to turn against me.
And what of my grandson?
Our grandson.
His adoptive parents called you in the car. My people traced the call to this house. Another ruse?
Not at all. In fact, our grandson and his family are on their way here any minute. I can't wait for you to meet him.
Hey.
You okay?
Yeah.
Sure?
Mm-hmm.
I stopped by and spoke to Carly, and I just thought that, considering what just happened, maybe we could rise above all the pettiness and come to an understanding for the kids.
So you pitch a truce?
I did, yes, for the kids. And I just, thought that since Jason just lost Jake, that maybe we could put things in perspective and just realize that life is too short to argue all the time, and it's exhausting and it doesn't get us anywhere. So I, for one, am just not going to do it anymore.
Good.
Tell me about Jason.
Well, he's going through a lot. He had to spend 4 years on the sideline watching somebody else raise his kid, and because he thought it was for the best of his kid, and now his son's gone, and he just feels like he's wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, but he needs to, or maybe you could try to get him to understand that, there's nothing he could have done. He tried to do everything for that boy, and sometimes accidents just happen, right?
That's the thing, he doesn't think it's an accident, because Luke had a few drinks.
I'm glad you're alone. I don't think I can deal with any more well-meaning people offering condolences or ways to cope. Maybe I don't want to look at pictures right now and think about all of Jake's precious moments. Maybe that's just going to make me realize all the things I'm going to miss and he's going to miss. Like his first day of kindergarten. His first soccer game. He was so excited to finally be old enough to be on a real team. And he couldn't wait to get a trophy with his name on it. I'm sorry.
Oh, Elizabeth. The only person who should be apologizing, for God's sake, is me. What happened to Jake?
No, it was all my fault.
The guy was arrested for aggravated assault and attempted rape. You don't think the victim would like to know if he's going to be cut loose? Well, how did he even get bail? Well, did anyone plead him out? Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
What? What happened?
Well, Brandon's decided to ditch his public defender, and he's got this woman named Angela Dwyer. She's good.
What? She's good enough to get him acquitted?
Yeah, she's going to push for a trial. She's going to bank on the fact that Abby's going to let Brandon walk rather than put Michael on the stand and risk him getting sent back to Pentonville.
Okay, well, can you make a case without Abby's testimony?
Yeah, it's not going to be as good. I got to convince Abby to change her mind, because if she drops the charges against this guy, that puts Michael in the position of defending her, and he's going to do it no matter what the cost.
Brandon is not going to drop this.
He wants me to pay for breaking things off with you. And I'm not gonna let him use you as the way to do it. Especially not if it means you going back to Pentonville.
Look, you cannot let him get away with what he did to you.
You want me to press charges?
Look, if you recant your statement, it's like saying he never even tried to rape you at all.
Look, I want Brandon punished. But the thought of going through a whole trial, watching his lawyer spin what happened to paint you in the worst light possible, I can't do it. I won't.
There's not going to be a trial.
What does that mean?
I am not going to let Brandon ever hurt you again.
How did we get to this place, Theo? How did we lose all the love and trust we shared?
You destroyed that trust.
Well, I want to rebuild it. I miss us. I want to be us again.
You went to a great deal of trouble hiding my grandson from me. Why the change of heart?
I was grieving for Alexander. And I blamed you for his death. My heart was so full of rage that it's taken me all this time to realize you were as devastated as I was.
I'm not quite sure where that leaves us.
We can start again. We can raise our grandson together again. Alexander would want that, don't you think?
Perhaps he would.
And the best part is, Brenda has no idea her son still exists. We can raise our grandson, and Sonny and Brenda will be none the wiser.
The thing is, Jason has to fight someone so he doesn't drown
Yeah, of course.
in his own grief. And Luke is making himself an easy target. He's shouldering the blame. He admitted that he had a couple drinks.
Wow.
And I've known Luke for a long time, and I know that he's always in control of, where he's headed. I've done things with Luke where I know he's had a few drinks. You can't even tell. For Luke to drive drunk, he'd have to drink like a bottle of scotch and then get behind the wheel. There are too many variables. Hitting Jake was an accident. And I know it's very difficult to accept for, any parent that loses a son. But it's really hard when you're the one responsible. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
When I came to your house this morning, I hadn't any idea that I was the one who hit Jake. And then the forensics came back and it was a match. So I'm the one who's responsible, not you.
I should have been watching him.
You can't watch your kids 24 hours a day.
Aiden was asleep. Cameron was up in his room. How is it possible that I couldn't hear my 4-year-old walk out the front door?
Elizabeth, don't do this. Please, don't do this. You're a good mother.
Why do you say that? If I had been paying attention, none of this would happen, and you wouldn't be blaming yourself for something you didn't even cause.
You got distracted. It happened.
You want to know why I had the boys that night? Because Lucky and Shulman were getting married, and I refused to let him take them.
Well, look, when I heard about the marriage, I wasn't crazy about it either. I'm nothing against Siobhan. I just didn't think that it was right for Lucky to jump into a serious situation,
You mean after the way I hurt him? Yeah. I should have learned my lesson. I made a selfish choice, and I lost the man I loved, and now my son, he's gone too.
Elizabeth, Lucky doesn't blame you. He knows that it was my fault.
I'm sorry you have to live with this. Jake shouldn't have been anywhere near that street. It was my fault. I'm sorry, Luke. I'm really sorry.
Bedtime for a sleepy baby owl, said Mama. I'm not sleepy, grumbled Baby Owl. Does he look mad there?
Yeah.
Why? Why is he mad?
Because all the animals are waking him up.
That's right. He couldn't help but giving a big stretch. Then along came Gray Squirrel. Look, Gray Squirrel's back.
He's crying.
He's crying because he doesn't want to go to sleep. And everybody's telling him, look, you look sleepy to me.
Michael doesn't trust the system to give Abby justice, and I can't blame him. He's been screwed over by one too many times, but that just means he's going to find another way to get it for her, through Sonny, through Jason, or God forbid he does it himself.
So is that why you're pushing Abby so hard to testify? Because you think you can stop Michael from going after Brandon if he's in prison?
Well, if Brandon goes missing during the trial, Michael's at the top of the suspect list, and that suspicion alone is enough to send him back to Pentonville, the one place he's powerless.
Well, what does being powerless have to do with him going after Brandon?
He was taught his whole life that the mob gives you the power to solve all your life's problems. And lately, he's been straddling the line between good and bad. I mean, I pulled him back, but if he decides to go after Brandon on his own, there's nothing I can do to help him.
I hate Brandon, but I don't want him dead. Michael, you have to promise me. Please, promise me that you won't do anything. Is Brandon worth going back to Pentonville? Because that's exactly where you're gonna end up if his body is found in the harbor. You have worked too hard to get your life back together. Please don't throw it away now.
Brandon's never gonna hurt you again.
It is not for you to decide how Brandon pays. I was the one who was attacked. It is my choice to make.
Abby, what if he walks?
I don't give a damn. As long as you're safe.
Maybe we needed this crisis to remind us what really matters.
I'm pleased we found a common cause in our grandson.
Nothing is more important than our own flesh and blood.
This boy is our legacy. We'll give him everything that should have been Alexander's. He'll have the benefit of everything I've worked so hard to achieve.
We make a formidable team. I've always admired you, Theo. You go after what you want, and you've never let anything stand in your way. And now I'm in a position to give you what you deserve.
We actually drove past Elizabeth's house on the way to the airport, right around the time that Jake wandered off. And at that time, I didn't care about anything but the honeymoon. I wasn't paying attention to the road. I could have hit Jason's son. No. I could have. Can you imagine? I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
No, thankfully you don't have to imagine that.
But that's what Luke's come to terms with. I mean, you know, he killed, no matter how you want to look at it, he killed a little boy who was raised by Lucky like his own. And I went to see Luke. I told him, I said, look, it was an accident. You can't blame yourself. And I meant it, but I'll tell you, if I was in his place, honestly, and I killed a little boy, I would want the grieving parents to come to my house and put a gun to me.
You need to hear me, Elizabeth. You are not to blame.
You know, if that were true, then Jake would still be alive. I'm his mom. I'm the one who's supposed to keep him safe. Jason didn't want him growing up like Michael, surrounded by guns and guards. And now I realize he probably would have been better off.
I don't know if Lucky told you, but if he didn't, he will soon. So you may as well hear it from me. The night I hit Jake, I'd had a couple of drinks. So blame me. Blame the booze. But don't blame yourself.
I guess that should make a difference. But it doesn't. Because Jake's still gone.